Lila Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It is June 23rd, and these are your headlines.
Thank you, Lila. Really appreciate the intro. Here's your headlines. Rhode Island waters right now are lit up with big stripers. We heard a fish to 57 pounds this week. Nantucket Shoal seems to be up another level. We're hearing about a lot of big doormat fluke out there this week. Last up is the nighttime freshwater guys are finding some really big largemouth right now. Seems like that bite's firing back up for the summer. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Starting off in Massachusetts, I talked to James Jukes. He said that the North Shore has slowed down a little bit this week. Hopefully that's just a lull between moons or whatever, but guys have been having trouble putting a decent bite together and seem to be getting smaller fish overall. One place that's been really hot though are the ledges between Boston Harbor and Plymouth. That area seems to be putting out some really nice fish, 25 to almost 50 pounds. Guys are getting them on the tube and worm, they're getting them on mojos, they're getting them on live eels. The live eels actually have seemed to be the top taker, not that that's anyone's big surprise. A hot zone out on the Cape has been the outer beaches. The surf is finally starting to light up out there. There's a whole mix of big bait and small bait out there, from sand eels to whiting. And there's been some really nice fish taken. I haven't heard of anything really big though, just fish up to like the low 20-pound class, but really good numbers. Lots of slot fish, lots of fish just under the slot, and fast action. Another hot zone for stripers on the Cape has been the Monomoy Rips. The boaters have been crushing it out there. They've been getting them on top waters, getting them on soft plastics, getting them jigging. There's been some big bluefish in those rips as well. On the tuna front, we're starting to hear some stuff, but it's still the beginning of the beginning, let's put it that way. So the guys that are getting them are the hardcores that just can't keep themselves tied to the dock. Got to catch that first tuna of the year. And so there are some fish out east of Chatham, but it's just starting. So maybe hold off another week or two if you're not one of those hardcores that just can't stay away. Coming around the corner into Nantucket Sound, bluefish are around, some small stripers, but the main target in Nantucket Sound, Vineyard Sound, and Buzzards Bay is definitely sea bass. Guys are getting fish in like 65 to 90 feet of water. Bite's been really good, a lot of solid fish, still no giant ones, just nice solid keeper fish, 2.5 to 4 pounds, and lots of action. You might get some scup mixed in with them as well. On the freshwater front, like I mentioned in the intro, the nighttime largemouth fishing has been very, very good. Guys are getting them on wake baits, they're getting them on rats, they're getting them on frogs, and whopper ploppers, anything like that. A lot of topwater action has been really good. Solid fish, 2 to 4 pounds. I've heard of a few over 5, but mostly in that 2 to 4 pound range and really good action. For a little more on what's going on in the Massachusetts freshwater scene, let's toss it over to Roy Leva and hear what he's got to say on the matter.
Hey Dave, what's up? It's been a little while. Things have been kind of the same as far as fishing goes, but I'm in here at the shop today and I figured I'd show your readers something pretty cool from Al Gags. We got 2 new colors coming out. These haven't been seen before. This is Mambo Olive, we call this. It's actually the same olive that's on the Mambo Minnow in a clear silver flake glass minnow. This is going to be killer, especially for Bonita, well, actually from Maine all the way to Florida and even on the West Coast. For anything, even freshwater, that'll be good. The other new color, New Penny, we call it. It's kind of a copper color, copper peachy color on that clear silver flake glitter. So another glass minnow here to add to the series, and these are going to be killer. But other than that, bass fishing's been phenomenal. Smallmouth bass, early mornings out on the Connecticut River, or in the evenings, topwater, spooks or poppers have been really well. And largemouth bass, you can't go wrong with a jig and pig or a jig and a trailer if you're looking for some really big fish. If you're looking for just action during the day, lily pads and pads, obviously the grass, horny toads and frogs. And another thing that I'm probably going to do this weekend, because I do so well this time of the year, is rock bass. I know a lot of people have never seen or caught a rock bass, especially if you're from the eastern part of the state. There really isn't much once you pass Worcester. But rock bass are a fun panfish, and they actually get pretty big. And by big, I'm saying, a pound or a pound and a half at the biggest. So a lot of fun. They like to really hide close to structure, whether it's rocks or stumps or falling trees. Really small jigs with the tube or a paddle tail is perfect for that, or even spinners in any of the major rivers out here on the west side of the state. So Connecticut River, Housatonic, Deerfield, Greenfield, Green River, all of those places have rock bass, and they're a lot of fun, and this is a really great time to catch them if you never have. All right, catch you guys next week. Thanks.
Thanks, Roy. Good to have you back, and we'll be looking forward to your report next week. And thanks for the sneak peek on those new baits, too, by the way. And that's the story that I have for you guys in Massachusetts this week.
With wind and rain since our last update, we have little change in the Dreamboat standings as of May 23rd. The top 4 total points remain the same, with Dean Paella from Springfield, New Jersey in first place with 22 points, Rob Carazano from East Haven, Connecticut in second place with 18 points, Garrett Weir from Valley Stream, New York in third place with 17 points, and Daniel Del Rosario from Central Islip, New York in fourth place with 10 points. One notable entry is from William Burke from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, with this 4-pound sea bass weighed in at Riverview Bait and Tackle. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new Steigercraft 23 Miami powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Subscribe now to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the action.
Hey everybody, it's Dave Anderson with a New England edition. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what's going on in the Coastal Kayak Clash. We had 2 fish make the leaderboard this week. One was a 20 1/4 inch black sea bass caught by Mike Radziszewski, which is good enough for 3rd place in the category. And the other was a fluke, and it was a big one. Let's see if you can guess who caught it. Yeah, that's right, Justin Oser. He's now leading the fluke category with a 27-incher. That adds to his commanding lead in the tournament. He now has 13 points. Mike Radziszewski has 4 points, and there were 3 others with 3 points. We still have months to go in this thing, so there's plenty of time to make this thing a ball game. Now we just got to see who's going to do it.
Over in Rhode Island, like I said, we seem to be, the Rhode Island waters just seem to be at a confluence of big stripers right now. There's fish coming in from the Western Sound. There's fish dumping out of the bay. There's fish coming in from Montauk. There's probably some of those fish that have shown up on the ledge that are kind of spilling over and moving in to the inshore waters of Rhode Island proper. But whatever it is, or wherever they're coming from, or if it's all those things all at once, there's big fish around. All the charter guys that post online are posting big fish, 30 to 50 pounds. The biggest fish of the week was a 57-pounder taken by regular contributor to the reports video here, Coral Aiello, and her dad on Father's Day. 57 pounds. That's quite the Father's Day gift, especially for that duo who spent a lot of time fishing together and have spent Coral's whole life fishing together. So that was a really great thing to see. And she made a great Father's Day post on her Instagram, so check her out and read that if you're sentimental at all, because I thought it was a great read.
Hi Dave, Coral here from Sarastar Charters with the Fishing Report. Let's just start by saying that the striped bass fishing in New England has been absolutely spectacular. Definitely the best I've seen in many years. Not only the abundance, but the size of the fish that are being caught. I mean, 40 to 50 pound range fish are actually pretty common this year, which is awesome. We already caught 4 on charter that were in the 50 pound range, and it's, just the end of June. We also had a very special Father's Day together on charter. My dad and I landed our biggest bass ever, which he said was the best Father's Day gift he could have asked for. The fish was 50 inches long and 57 pounds. It took both of us just to hold it up for the picture. And definitely something that we will never forget, and what a day for it to happen on. The fluke fishing, I know has been pretty good. I know you have to go through a lot of shorts just to get that 18-inch fish, but that's how fluke fishing usually is. But definitely the striper, they have been, just the highlight so far of the season. I hope that next year we get to experience the same thing. I have a feeling it could be the slot limit working with all these big fish around, and it's really something.
Throughout the whole area, guys are getting really nice fish. Guys are getting them on a variety of methods. Tube and worm seems to be leading the way, with eels following up, and then live bunker, topwater, things like the dock. All those baits are catching fish, but definitely the eel and the tube and worm are leading the way on these big fish. Out at Block Island, same deal. Really big fish out there. Fish up to 50 pounds are being taken on the ledge and some of the other spots that nobody ever talks about near the island. Block Island surf, from what I've been hearing, hasn't been so hot. Those fish just don't seem to be pulling up into the surf zone yet. But, you know, that could happen any day, and probably on this next move we'll see more action out there. Back closer to shore, we'll start there. Fluke fishing is still kind of slow, and the sea bass fishing is, yeah, it's just okay. If you're really into the bottom fishing, you're going to have to take a ride. You're going to have to head back out to Block, fish the windmills, fish the east grounds. Those areas are holding some fish right now. And but, you know, even the pros, even the party boats and whatnot, they're burning a lot of fuel to fill a limit. Could be because it's been so windy this week and maybe just not as many guys are running, but the reports have been kind of lean on the ground fish front this week. Seems like everybody's concentrating on stripers, and again, there's just so many big ones being caught. I heard so many 50s this week, it's almost unbelievable. And that's the story that I have for you guys in Rhode Island this week. Moving over into Connecticut, things are looking good in Connecticut. We got a lot of diverse action going on. First up is the race, which went from like striper heaven to like a striper desert to now bluefish bonanza. A lot of bluefish in the race right now. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of big ones. It sounds like it's more like that 3 to 6 pound class. But if you're looking to get the rod bent over and over again, that'd be a good place to go. Drop some diamond jigs, get out there at first light and throw top waters, or throw whatever you want. You know how they are, bluefish. But the action's been really good. Lots of fish in the area, and you know, it's hard to argue with that. Heading up toward the Thames has been really good shore action for porgies. So if you're looking to get in on that action, if you want to start filling your freezer with porgies, now's the time to go. Remember that size limit's been increased by 1 inch, but the action's really good. Avery Point, Pleasure Beach, up at Fort Trumbull, that whole area is producing fish. And really that continues throughout the state. Any rocky shore location, you got a really good chance of putting some fish on the beach if you're looking for porgies. Heading over toward Niantic Bay and then to the Connecticut River, a lot of slot bass in that area, a lot of slot-sized stripers. Guys are getting them on just about every method that you can think of. There's been a smaller number of really big fish in that area as well, from like 30 pounds up. But really, a lot of those slot fish are being caught on those ledges outside of Niantic Bay and on like the sand shoal and areas like that. Starting to see some more fluke, and we're starting to see a lot more sea bass, especially as you head west of the river out to like Southwest Reef and 6 Mile. A lot of fish being taken out there. You just got to watch that New York line because we still got a couple days. Actually, is it today? Actually, as of today, you don't have to watch that line anymore because New York is now open. So it's a free-for-all out there. So keep that in mind. And crossing over into New York waters now too, with the season open, it's going to give you a chance to fish for some fish that haven't, or fish some pieces that haven't been fished out yet. So that's another thing, another little feather in your cap to keep in mind. Heading further west, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Before we leave that region, let's toss it over to Mike Roy from Real Cash Charters and get a more in-depth look at what's going on in the Connecticut River area.
Hey, what's up, guys? This week's fishing report for the striped bass, kind of similar to last week. The striped bass fishing is good. I'd say the quality has gone up. There's a lot of overslot fish as well as 40-inch plus fish. They are spread out in a lot of different areas. Let me get to the bait first. So the bunker, there is a lot of bunker around. There is still a bunker in the western Long Island Sound, central Long Island Sound, all spread throughout with bass and blues feeding on them. There is bunker in all the rivers and estuaries as well. It's been actually pretty thick. The striper fishing, it's good, but it's become more challenging. This is due to the boat pressure. Unfortunately, this happens especially this time of year, and my advice is to try to get away from the crowds the best you can. And the other thing I would recommend is if you do find these fish, I would try to keep it quiet. But it's still mostly a bunker bite. However, we did get some fish on lures. We did get some fish on top water a few days this week. So that's a good sign. The black sea bass fishing is still very good. I would expect that to continue for the next 2 weeks, usually till about July 1st. And then those sea bass will disperse all throughout Long Island Sound. I haven't heard much for fluke fishing. The blue fishing is Not so good in some of the shoreline and some of the smaller reefs, but it is, there are some big blues around the deep areas like the Race and Plum Gut. So you got plenty of action out there and plenty of areas to fish. Good luck.
Heading west from the river, once you get out to like New Haven and Milford, fluke bite's been decent. It seems to be a little bit better than it is in the Eastern Sound. Sea bass bite's been good, especially on the wrecks. But now that striper bite that was just so hot in the extreme Western Sound has started to spread out. And, you know, if you followed these reports over the last few years, you probably know that that 50 line, that 50-foot line off of Milford, off New Haven, especially in late June and early July, produces some really big stripers for the guys going out at night chunking. And that's starting up right now. It's starting to get fish in that 25 to 35, and then a few up to 45, and even close to 50-pound range. And the action could be fast and furious. Just, you know, it's a lot of drifting with chunks, a lot of chumming, but there's a lot of nice fish that are caught in that area. And as you head further west, there's still lots of bass around off of Norwalk and heading over into the New York waters. And for a much deeper look at that, just like we do every week, we're going to toss it over to Max Finch, who I don't think has slept much this week. And we're going to get another report from him. Take it away, Max.
Hey everyone, Max here from Fisherman's World with another local fishing report. This week, the bass fishing still remains strong for guys that are able to get out with the pass below. We've seen a lot of mid-30, mid-20 pound fish up in the higher 40s. It seems a lot of the concentration of big schools of big fish has shifted a little east. Guys in Fairfield, Stratford, New Haven are reporting a really good bite now. There's still some big fish around in our area though. I know down west, guys still trolling off Rye, Portchester, Greenwich. They're catching fish to 50, maybe mid 40s on bunker spoons and on the troll. Locally here inside the islands, we've had some nice fishing now up inside and inside. Guys chunking at night and guys plugging early morning and sunset. I would say guys still chunking. I mean, you can definitely fish inside. 28C and 11B still holding a lot of fish at night. And it seems like the outgoing tide is definitely the best bet. And let's move on to some fluke. Fluke fishing definitely has slowed down a little in our areas. Seems to every year at this point. But guys still pecking away. They are finding some nicer fish. I would say, you know, 22 to 24 inches in some deeper water now, like, you know, 40, 50. It seems like bait this year is out fishing the gulp. So guys using like whole squid, spearing, you know, those M3 spoons tipped with a whole squid on the back when you have a really nice drift. That seems to be your best bet to find some bigger fish. Places like 26, you know, Can 24 still, the backside of Sheffield still, and then the OB buoy. Porgies and black sea bass. Porgies are definitely inshore now. This past week, we've been selling a lot of sandworms and clams for guys getting them from the beaches. Places like Sherwood, you know, places like our pier, Norwalk Pier. And then any real beaches now are starting to get them. I mean, this should only get way better as we keep moving on. Sea bass, guys are getting them, you know, bycatch while they're drifting for fluke, but guys definitely targeting sea bass, getting some wrecks in some deeper water reefs, same things like diamond jigs, butterfly jigs, and then high lows with bait. All right, thanks and good luck.
Thanks, Max. Really appreciate you taking the extra time to make the report this week. I know you've been running yourself ragged, but that's what it's all about in June, isn't it? And before we wrap things up, we're going to head down to Paradise, and we're going to check out what's going on down at Marina Pez Vela in Costa Rica.
Hello guys, and checking in here from the Marina Pez Vela, Costa Rica. Welcome to this week's fishing report. We've had some just insane rooster fishing this week, guys. This week alone aboard my boat Good Day, we've released 24 trophy rooster fish. Absolutely amazing fishing. The largest fish went 60 to 65 pounds and quite a lot in the 40 to 50 pound range as well. Come and see us guys if you want a trophy rooster fish. Offshore we've had some good sail fishing. One of our boats here today released 10 sailfish. Great numbers for this time of year. Yesterday we caught a big bull dorado and lots of schoolie dorado also. Hope to see you down here in Costa Rica soon guys. Back to you.
And that's what I have for you guys this week in the report. Hopefully you're going to find that very useful. Things are looking really good. Water temps are lower than normal for this time of the year, which is translated to an extended striper bite, which I hope continues long into the summer. So we'll see how that goes, but lots of stuff going on, lots of fish to be caught. If you're not a subscriber to The Fisherman, I highly recommend you head over to the website and check out what we got going on. There's plenty of free content there, but at the very least, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube. Hit that little bell thing down there so you can get a notification every time we post something new. new. I appreciate you guys watching the report. Good luck this week, and we'll see you guys next time.